You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday. It's 19th day of October, 2023. Being Thursday, that means tonight is the members only workshop. So, that in mind, 8 p.m. Eastern. But for now, thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. First live broadcast, that's our live training room. That's open to members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's an interactive environment. When you go to take your free trial, here's what you do. Go to the homepage at mytradingiq.com. Right at the top of the page, there's a link that says 5-day free trial. Just click that link, fill out the registration form. Then what will happen is we'll get your desktop set up, get your indicators indicating, and then the following trading day, that's when your trial will actually begin. So it really doesn't matter what day of the week or weekend or hour of the day that you actually sign up for the trial. You will still get 5 consecutive trading days, even if it stretches over a weekend. So don't worry about looking at the calendar. Well, if I sign up today, I'm only going to get 1 day. Or no matter when you sign up. First, we get you set up, and then you get 5 consecutive trading days. Now, the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Take a quick 30-minute break and come back for this afternoon broadcast, 12 noon Eastern. Now, this broadcast is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. I think that includes everybody. Yep, it's everybody, open to the public. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can join the afternoon broadcast. The best way, go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link, complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. Going forward, every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. And that's going to give you access to the question box so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there will be days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but would still like to join the afternoon broadcast live. You can. And there'll be days when you're busy doing other things and you can't join live, but you'd like to check it out later. You can. Of course, I'm speaking of our YouTube channel. It's easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live, as we're doing now, every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,300 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a really good way to get to know who we really are. Not just today or this week, but how we've evolved over the years. Thanks to YouTube, you can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Just pick a few days at random. Just listen in for a little bit. You'll quickly see the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity. It's woven through each and every daily broadcast. youtube.com/CFRN. Let's open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer, as we do. Topic of our devotion. This is the final day on this topic. Faith works. It's really a study on the book of James. Now, we didn't cover the entire book, but hopefully we've covered enough that it makes you want to go and study the entire book. Scripture today comes from James chapter 5, verses 19 through 20. And I'll share it with you from the Message translation. My dear friends, if you know people who have wandered off from God's truth, don't write them off. Go after them. Get them back, and you will have rescued precious lives from destruction and prevented an epidemic of wandering away from God. Again, James chapter 5, verses 19 and 20. So today we'll talk about the wanderer and the restorer. Restoration begins with confession. You can't fix what you don't recognize is broken. James's letter doesn't wrap us up with final words of greeting like most of Paul's letters. James didn't close by naming particular individuals or by offering a broad theological expression of praise. Instead, he hammered home one final practical application of faith in action. If someone isn't putting their faith into action, call them out and point them back in the right direction. What a great note to end on. It rings in our ears with force and finality. Wandering from the truth means we're pursuing something less than God's best for us in the gospel. This is a matter of life and death. This is why Jesus outlined a process to reconcile wanderers from the truth. While the process is often known as church discipline, the goal isn't punishment, but reconciliation. We pursue wanderers, hoping they'll return to the truth and be reconciled to God and the community of the church. Because God has reconciled us to himself at the cross, we help others find the same reconciliation found. God is a God of pursuit. In the garden, he looked for Adam and Eve after they had sinned and called out to them as they tried to hide in shame. That's in Genesis chapter 3. When sin had infected the whole world, God came in the flesh. Emmanuel, God with us. Matthew 1:23. And in the end, he will come again to restore all things and bring about the consummation of his redemptive plan. Hang on for me just 1 second. Right back. Okay, sorry about that. Technical issue there. But all is well. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, as we come before you today, we reflect on the closing words of James in chapter 5, which emphasizes, that's easy for you to say, which emphasizes the importance of turning a wandering soul back to the truth. Lord, we acknowledge that in our faith journey, we may encounter those who have strayed from the path of truth and righteousness. We pray for the grace and wisdom to reach out to them in love and compassion. May our hearts be burdened for those who have gone astray, recognizing that we are called to be our brothers and sisters' keepers. Give us the courage to engage in conversations that lead to reconciliation and restoration. Lord, we ask for your guidance and the leading of your Holy Spirit as we seek to bring wandering souls back to the fold. May our words and actions reflect your love, grace, and truth. Pray for those who have turned away from you, that their hearts would be softened and that they would experience your loving embrace. May they come to know the depth of your forgiveness and grace. Lord, we are so grateful for your faithfulness, even when we falter. Just as you are patient and loving towards us, help us to extend the same grace to those who have strayed. May our lives be living testimonies of your redemptive power and the transformative work you do in the lives of those who return to your truth. In the name of Jesus, we believe and pray. Everybody said, Amen. I read something yesterday that I've heard many times in the past, but I hadn't heard it in a while, and it was nice to be reminded. It said, in fact, it was the guys on the podcast from Duck Dynasty, the one I've been encouraging you guys to check out. I think you'll really enjoy it. We should always be preaching the gospel and use words when necessary. People often don't listen to what you have to say, but they're always watching. So how we live out our lives can speak much louder than the things we have to say. Our children, as they're growing up, model our behavior. That's, of course, why we want to be good examples. And as we become adults and fall into the purpose and destiny that God created us for, people will be watching, especially once you tell them that you're a believer, that you're a Christian. They may not pay a lot of attention to the words you say, but they're going to watch how you live your life and see if you really are different from the rest of the world. Okay, let me give you the numbers from around the world. Powell says inflation is still too high and lower economic growth is likely needed to bring it down. Now, I'd love an explanation of what lower economic growth is. If you had a $100,000 mortgage, an ARM, which of course you shouldn't have an ARM, but there's people who do, people who refinance for whatever reason. If you had a $100,000 mortgage that was at an adjustable rate, probably had a mortgage payment of around $1,200. Now you've got a payment around $1,800. And it doesn't sound like he's planning to rein this thing in anytime soon. Yesterday, mortgage rates hit 8%, highest in 23 years. And again, we're not hearing any dovish talk from him. He's definitely a hawk through and through. So let me give you the numbers. We'll start with the U.S. The indices, as they're called. The Dow is up 128 points. The NASDAQ is up 64. S&P 500 is up 18. But the Russell 2000, our man in the street, is up less than 1 point. So we'll see how that changes by the end of the broadcast. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 27 cents trading 88.59 last. Gold up $2, trading 19.70.30 last. Silver down 15 cents, trading 22.95 last. Now, I know everyone's wondering, with all that's happening in the Middle East, and Lord, we continue to pray daily, hourly, people of Israel, for this situation, which the entire world could soon be involved in. We pray for the wisdom of our leaders and their leaders and all the leaders who make the decisions, and pray that nobody has to reach for their football or red button. But we trust you, Lord. The situation in Israel and Gaza and all the surrounding countries, we have to put it in your hands, and we have to put our faith and trust in you. I meant to pray that when we had our morning prayer there, but anyway, someday you'll get old. Hopefully. All right, in the Asian markets, so point being is, with all that's happening and all the talk about crude, going over $100, it's a little surprising to only see it up 38 cents today. It's trading 88.70. I mean, so it is inching its way towards that $100 mark. Gold, which is typically considered, or historically has been considered, a flight to safety. We've had some big days in gold of late. Today, we're up $2.70. Now, all the gold that's ever been mined, 99% of it is still in existence. But silver, there's a finite amount of both. When God created the heavens and the earth, He created all the gold and all the silver and sewed it up in the belly of the earth. And since then, man has been slowly digging it out. The gold gets turned into, bars and coins that people hang on to because of their value, and it gets turned into jewelry, etc. Silver, which is also a finite resource, that gets used up, burned up. Of all the silver that's ever been mined since man recognized its value and its use, only a small amount of it still exists in the physical realm. So something doesn't add up. I wish I had the answer for you, but I'll just tell you, I don't. All right, in the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei down 611 points. That's just shy of 2%. Shanghai down 53 points, 1.75%. The Hang Seng down 436 points, 2.5%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 88, DAX down 49, CAC down 44. The mover and shaker there is the FTSE. Those 88 points, that's a drop of almost 1.25%. So we had a red day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. But so far, it's a green Radio Thursday here in the US of A. And again, speaking of Thursday, Tonight is the members only workshop. So if you've been on the trial and you want to be in that workshop tonight and have access to the Telegram channel with all the, well, not all the previous workshops, but years previous workshops, you need to go to eminifuturestrading.com. Couple mouse clicks, you will become a lifetime member with no recurring fees, no upsells, and no nonsense. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have someone to teach them how to do the job. That's why our live training room is so important, because you have someone to teach you 2 hours and 15 minutes every trading day in an interactive environment. The more questions you ask, the sooner you'll understand the strategy and how to interpret what the indicators are telling you. And as a passport holder, you'll have access to unlimited one-on-one private mentoring. And the strategy you learn and the indicators you own for life as a passport holder, they're fluid across all markets, all time frames. Futures, individual stocks, crypto, forex, even ETFs. As a passport holder, you also receive the Logic 247 alerts, concierge trade alerts, and much more. Plus, of course, as I started out saying, you'll be able to attend the members only workshop tonight. Now, if you've been on the trial, you should have gotten an email already with a link to become a passport holder, but you know, sometimes emails don't end up, they end up where that one sock is. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's in your junk folder, your spam folder, or somewhere. Or maybe it's just circling out there in cyberspace somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, if you don't have the email, just go here, get it done, so that Valerie can make sure you get an invitation for the workshop tonight. And of course, she'll send you all the other things and all the access to the additional Telegram channels. Everything a lifetime member has will be yours. Okay. Now, let's take a look at Logic 247. Still a subpar week, but not as subpar as it was. Let's see, we started out the week with 80% of actionable alerts stopped out. There weren't many alerts because there weren't many opportunities, but that was pretty ugly. Then it dropped to 56%, and now it's come down to 29% as of 7 a.m. this morning. Over the last 272 weeks, we've issued over 15,200 individual handcrafted alerts. And of those 15,200 plus alerts, we've averaged 20% or less being stopped out based on a very simple method that we teach all of our passport holders in their unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions. This week, it's been a challenge. When you don't see a lot of alerts, then you know that the market is, in fact, a challenge. Forget about what this part says. It's just when you see this few alerts by Thursday, something's not right. So out of the 18 alerts we've issued since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, an average week going back over the 272 weeks, an average week is 50 to 100 alerts. So that's pretty anemic. We've had 17 actionable alerts, of which 5 or 29% would have been stopped out based on that risk profile that we teach all of our passport holders using market structure. So, whether it's good, bad, or just ugly, we don't sweep anything under the carpet. This is the truth about trading. And if you are going to become a trader, then you have to learn to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. Now the logic alerts, they can come out around the clock, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., because futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. But we also have our original alert service, concierge trade alerts. They are a little bit different in a couple different ways. Number one, they're based on historic price action. When historic price action meets, or when current price action meets historic price action, that's where you'll find some of your best high probability, low risk trade opportunities. The CTAs are published as a static report shortly after the Globex open each evening. So of course today is the Thursday session, but it began last night, Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern in the US. That's the beginning of the Globex session. So the Thursday session that we're in right now will end this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. Markets will go dark for an hour, and then at 6 p.m. Eastern, the markets will reopen, and that will be the beginning of the Friday session. So once this static report is published, last night it came out at 6:50, okay, just shy of an hour after the markets opened. First thing you want to do is simply go to the markets that you actually trade. We use the ES as an example. When this is published, be notified in Telegram. You want to make note of where price is at the time of the release. So on the ES, take a note, knowing that the price, when the report comes out, is always between these two numbers. Once you've made a note on your 30-minute chart of where price is at the time of the release, draw a line in the sand at the long target, draw a line in the sand at the short target. They will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, then it's attempting to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. It's pretty simple. Now with the logic alerts, I look left for you to spot potential obstacles. Previous swing highs, swing lows. That's why there's multiple targets on most logic alerts. The initial target is designed just to help you get your goal for the day. And then you'll often have a second, a third, a fourth, even a fifth or more targets. On every alert, the final trade to target, if it's a short, is the weekly zone below. If it's a long, it's the weekly zone above. Now, on the logic alerts, I look left for you. On the CTAs, you get to look left yourself. It's part of the learning process. The purpose of the alerts is not so you can just trade the alerts and not have to worry about learning how to trade. Yeah, I know some people may do that, but you know what? Don't cheat yourself. You have an opportunity to learn a methodology that will serve you all the days of your life. So, take advantage of the opportunity that you have to actually learn how to trade so that you can become self-sufficient, so that you don't need somebody else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. You simply look at the chart, the multiple time frames as we teach, and you know exactly what to do and when to do it. Also, you'll have to learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Only 3 things happen at a zone. 70% of the times consolidation, 20% of the times rejection, 10% of the time is what we call the slice. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009. Once the zones come out Monday morning for our members and trial members at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, that gives you time to get them on your charts before Wall Street even wakes up for the week. Once those zones are published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They do not change in any way whatsoever. Beyond that, you simply have to resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. Now, because this broadcast is open to the public, if anybody wants to grab a screenshot, go right ahead. If you're watching this after the fact on our YouTube channel, just hit pause and jot down whatever numbers are important to you based on what markets you trade, because we're going to go through each one of these markets individually before the broadcast ends. And we will start out where we always do, with the daily chart of the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Now, the S&P 500 is considered the bellwether. In other words, the other major indices, the Dow, the Russell, the NQ, they're always going to follow the S&P. Now, sometimes they'll get out in front, sometimes they'll lag behind. But ultimately, wherever the S&P goes, up or down, that's what the other markets are going to do. Now, yesterday, I drew in this little window of opportunity. And we gave it a value, what did we say, 43.40. We said it was about a 40-point window of opportunity. I also said yesterday, and if you missed yesterday's broadcast, you can always go to the YouTube channel and check it out. I said when price enters this window, because it's such a large window, it will typically come into the window, retrace back to the top of the window, and then attempt to complete the move. Okay? So, where's price trying to go right now? The 50% fib retracement. We are below the BBC, blue and climbing. If we close at the 50 or lower today, blue and climbing is going to become red and falling, just like up here. Blue and climbing became red and falling. The price moves in legs. Leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. And then the pullback holds more often than not, but we know eventually it will trade through the BBC. That just stands for bull, bear, cross. Price gets above the BBC, we're bullish, we anticipate higher prices. Price gets below the BBC, we're bearish, we anticipate lower prices. Now, as blue and climbing turns to red and falling, that's another bearish addition. Okay, we spent a number of days. On the first move down, we spent a lot of days consolidating, about 10, I think, at the 50. Now, normally on a daily chart, you will get an immediate reaction at the 50% fib retracement. This one was a little different. We spiked it, but we never let go of it. All these candles here were touching. And then we finally got our bounce over 2 days. It took us back to the 38. And we consolidated there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And so the logical thing now, because price is below the BBC, this price got rejected at this trend line, is a trip down to the 50% fib retracement. Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. It has to do with account size. When institutional traders trade, that moves price. When retail traders trade, we're basically liquidity for the institutions. But whatever market you trade, it may not be the S&P. You may trade crude, or you may trade gold. You may trade Amazon or Walmart or Bitcoin or the British pound or the spider. If you will discipline yourself to just spend 2 minutes looking at the daily chart of whatever market you trade or whatever stock or whatever it is, you'll see what the institutions are doing. This was a market looking for direction. I finally found it. But then once we got back to the 38, again, it became a market looking for direction. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but it looks like we now know that the direction is down back to the 50. Again, we could get another bounce at the 50. If we trade through the 50, we're going to have red and falling overhead. And then we have potential support here. Then we have the 62% fib retracement. Then we have potential support at this low right here. And then the measured move from the top of the head to the neckline. This is nothing proprietary. This is technical analysis 101. You measure the distance from the top of the head to the neckline. And then once the neckline gets broken, you move your measuring stick down like this. And what's really interesting, this measured move, if it comes to pass, lines right up with the bullish cross right here. That's when the blue line gets above the green line. Whenever you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, whether it's on the daily chart, the 30-minute chart, doesn't matter. The first time price revisits the area of the bullish cross, it will almost always be good support, at least the first time down. Same is true of a bearish cross, just in the opposite direction. All right, Michael's going to be here any second to do a recap of the live training room. Then we'll go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes. I did say we would walk through each of these individual markets, and we will. I'll just wait for him to show up. The vertical line right here separates today, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. When price drops to a weekly trading zone, This zone is 43.29/30. We missed touching it by 3 ticks. When price rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance. Coming down, support. 70% of the time consolidation, 20% of the time rejection. So we went from zone to zone, consolidated at the zone, remember 70% of the time, and then we reached back up to the zone, and price got rejected and sent us below the zone at 29/30. We have a low on the session now of 43.15, and the next zone is 43.04/43.05. Now these zones were published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And here we are on a Thursday, and they're still doing their job. It's kind of elegant if you appreciate and understand market structure. On the Dow, here's where we opened. We dropped to the short target. When the market finds support, it will look for resistance, which it found at the BBC, dropping us back to and through the short target. Then we caught a little bounce, but we didn't make it back to the zone overhead. We then dropped through, and we hit the weekly trading zone that was published Monday morning to the tick. And that's what gave us the bounce all the way up to this zone. And then we came right back down to this zone, where once again the market found support. When price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance. When it drops, support. Over and over, right here. We bounce up to the zone, resistance. We drop to the zone, support. Over and over, again and again. When you become a lifetime member, you will learn how to use the zones properly, what happens at a zone, and the zones will become one of the most important tools in your trading box. So it's time for Michael now, and the recap, and the live training on TradingView. And then we will finish the other markets when we're done on TradingView.
All right.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Here, I will bring everything over here to my side. Bring everything over here to my side. And here we go.
Looks good.
All right. Great. So you should see everything right now. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 19th day of October, 2023. Thursday, partners meeting tonight, 8 p.m. Don't forget. If you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on this button right here. It says your free 5-day training now, 9:15 to 11:30. Click on that. You're going to be brought to this registration page. Now, on this page, we don't ask for a credit card or anything like that. Just give us your first name, your last name, email, phone number. Fill out these little boxes. But do fill out these. If you're using TradingView, give us your TradingView login ID. And if you're using NinjaTrader, give us your NinjaTrader machine ID. Okay. Do all that, and then we'll be able to set you up right away with your desktop. We get everything running, indicating on your desktop. All right. Go to trading platforms and follow directions in here for whichever one you have. Watch these videos to familiarize yourself with what's going to happen once you get into the room, because those are live videos from the room. All right. So now, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 19th day of October, 2023. Today made 28 ticks in the NQ, 5 ticks in the Russell, 17 ticks in crude, and 1 on the ES. That put us at 347.5 on the morning session. Today it took 56 minutes and 15 trades to get to the goal for the day. That brought up $1,150. So it took a long time again today. I had 3 stop outs in there and a whole bunch of break evens to get that, but it is what it is. We only took 5 more trades because it took pretty much a whole first hour to do it. And then we started training for 45 minutes and we took 5 more trades in that last half an hour. Anyway, on the month, we're at $6,400 per contract. All right. So that is over 14 days, averaging $457 per morning session. We've gotten our goal for the day on 194 out of 199 possible days on the year. And so today, the 195th day of the year, we are at $87,694. It's 195th business day of the year. Why does it say 195? No, this is, okay. Yeah, it's the 195th business day of the year, or 195th day that we got our goal for the day, something like that. I don't know, I'll figure that out. But anyway, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you were to add one contract per month, so far this year, you would have only had to work 61.18 hours to get your goal. All right. So far this month, we worked 488 minutes, which equates to about 8 hours so far on the month. Right. And in those 8 hours with 10 contracts, we made $19,090. $19,090. All right. So let me go up here and see something. And up here and see something. Okay. All right. It's all good. Let's see. The actual trades. Let's get into those now. All right. We did trade a little bit on everything today. The crude oil, we ended up with some nice trades here on the crude right at the end of the session this morning. There were like 3 in a row, but this is where we got that 17 ticks. We did have crude. We started out with crude with a stop out this morning. Right here. This is how we started out crude with a stop out, minus 10 ticks. We had a break even on that one. Then we picked up 5 on that one, and then 5 more on that one to get us to break even on the day on crude. And then toward the end of the session, we grabbed this one for 17 ticks. I actually got it on the ribbon right here. I didn't get the black arrow. I got it on the ribbon right here, and got 17 ticks on that. Pulled back down, gives a nice indication there for the next leg up, but it didn't put in the higher swing, so we couldn't do that one. But we did get a break even on that. And then we did get a higher swing in here. It pulled back down, bounced off the ribbon again, but this was at the break, so we didn't grab this one. And that did put in a higher swing. We could see we were reading the DOM to everyone. That was part of the lesson plan for today, was how to read the DOM. And we're reading the DOM to everyone as this was all happening. You could see that it was going to be going up to these numbers. I was drawing the numbers in and telling people where it was going to be going. The 8760, those of you guys that were there this morning, remember that number that I was talking about. We got up to that, pulled back down, bounced off the ribbon again, and it made another leg up to the weekly trading zone. You can see since then it's gone through the zone. So there was another trade here and another trade here. Remember the trades that are green arrows with the black is in the right color. Your highest probability trades, if you just wait for those and just take those during the day, you'd be doing really well. All right. Now the Russell, we had just one trade on the Russell, looks like. Well, one trade that gained anything. Let's go all the way back here on the Russell. Okay, all the way back here on the Russell. Here it was right here. Our one trade right here, we picked up 5 ticks. I think we had, oops, let me move that. We had some more break-even trades in there, but we had a lot of no trade zone right here. You see all that? No trade zone. That's like a half an hour of no trade zone. And a whole bunch more and a whole bunch more. And we had a break-even trade right here on that one. I wasn't trading into the zone, and I missed anything coming out of the zone. We were talking then, I was training. Then you get into the break. And there were no green arrows here during the break right there. Nothing. A lot of black arrows, but not that much for the green ones. Here we are. Green arrow, and you see the black is in the red right here. Green arrow with the black is in the right color. It's your highest probability green arrow trade. And there it was right there for a great game. These other couple right here, this one, the black was not in the right color. Still worked out okay. This one here was just on the edge. Same with that one. But that one wasn't, I didn't give you the green arrow because it didn't come out of the oversold. But since then, we didn't really have anything. Okay, so that was all of that. Now look at the ES. We really only had a couple of trades around the ES, one break even, one with 1 tick. So it's not too much to see here with the ES. Get back here. Look at all this no trade zone here during the break, or leading up to the break. We had 1 tick on that. Now that was a really nice trade, the way it came together and the way it looked in the DOM. The black is in the red again on the top, highest probability. In here, the black is in the green, black is in the green, black is in the green, all high probability trades. Over here, the black is in the red, high probability trade. Right, that's going into the pre-market. So we had one break-even trade here, and we had that one trade for one tick on the ES, and that was all that we did. Look at all this chop right here. So it's been pretty ugly like that with the ES. One thing you can do when it's like that with the ES is drop down to a smaller time frame like this, and you got to change the sensitivity so it only shows the no trade zone when you're in the black. I mean, when you're in the flat areas, but you'd have to change to like 0.15, something like that, I think. And then you'll see that it opens up a lot more opportunity in here on a smaller time frame. All right, you see all those green arrows where we didn't have any before. Just saying, that's one way to get trades on a market. If you want to trade the ES and you don't want to trade anything else, in the 7-tick range just isn't spreading out enough to give you anything. Within the 7-tick range bars, there's usually going to be something else on a smaller time frame. Okay, I didn't check to see if all this in here yet, but I don't see any questions being asked. So now we're going to jump right into the NQ. All right, we have 3 minutes left. Let me make sure I got the other thing running and ready to go. I do. It's ready to go. Okay, so the NQ. On the ES, we ended up with just one tick. On the crude, we had plus 17. On the Russell, we had plus 5. On the NQ, we were plus 28. Thanks in large part to the last trade that we took on the NQ. I'm just going to do this, slide it over this way. It's a lot less work for me. And you don't have to watch me struggle to slide it all the way over every time. Does anybody have any questions about anything at this point? Don, I want to go back and see what the ES did because I didn't really look at it on the bigger picture, what we were talking about this morning. I'll go check that out for you in just a minute here, okay? All right, so here we are now with the ES. All right, our first trade here with the ES was right here. Looks like, and I stopped out, minus 10 ticks on that one. I'm not the ES, sorry, with the NQ. That was our first trade of the day. It was minus 10 ticks on that one. I picked up 12 ticks there, 16 ticks there to get us to minus 4. And then I had a break even, and I stopped out again, put us down to minus 24. Then I got plus 4 to get us to minus 20. Then I got plus 30 to get us to plus 10. Then I had a break even and a plus 8 in here to get us to plus 18. Then we went into a bunch of garbage. A break even there, another break even there. Green arrows in here. We had some nice green arrows on the NQ that I ended up missing this morning. This was all during the training here. I ended up missing all of this. Okay, and the next trade that we took should have gotten us. We went from 10 to 18 to minus 2. So we stopped out again somewhere to get to minus 2. Here it is. I stopped out again to get to minus 2 on that one. And then we had one more trade right there. We got plus 30 on that to get us to plus 28. All right, after that, just looking at the green arrows that are in the right color. Okay, just looking at the green arrows that are in the right color. We had one right there, one right there, one right there. This one would have stopped out, but you wouldn't have taken that because this one didn't put in a higher swing. And one back here, that would have been enough to get the stop to break even. Would have had some profit on that. You wouldn't have taken that. This one, the black was in the red right there, so that's okay. And then in here, the black was in the green. That would have stopped you out. You wouldn't have taken that second one. The black looks like it was in the green there. It would have given you some profit. Black was in the red here for sure. Would have given you some profit. Looks like it was out of the green right there. It was definitely in the green here. Would have given you profit. Looks like it was out of the green there. It would have given you profit anyway, but it was out of the green. It was in the red here. That would have given you a break even. Right here, nice profit on that one. In the red here, probably a break even. In the red here, that one, well, it's going right into a zone. If you took it, you know, it probably would have stopped you out if you took it. This one here would have given you some profit. Nothing there. Nothing there. And let's see. We had one right here. The black was in the green. That would have been just about a break even. And wow, there's a lot of movement here during the break. All right, well, I'm just going to go to the end because I got to start the live stream right now. Don, I'm going to check that out with ES here in just a second. Let me hit the live stream button over here. Start that up. Okay. All right, so the live stream is running now. Don, the thing that we were looking at this morning was the ES. Again, if you're in here on the live stream right now and you're watching after the fact, if you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to mytradingaq.com, sign up for the free trial right there. All right, no credit card required or anything like that. What we're looking at this morning on the ES, we were talking about a drop down to a certain level and then a push up off of that level, back up to a certain level. Let me see those levels. I do have those levels highlighted somewhere. Here it is. Right, this level here is what we're talking about this morning, down to this level. And then I was talking about a push back up to the midpoint, right, between the 2 weekly trading zones. I'm just going right through the midpoint and it's still going up. So, yeah, so short here, you would have endured this huge run up and then this huge run down right there. Now, I don't know what happened to the markets at that point in the day. Now, Powell was speaking at noon today somewhere, so that might have had something to do with it. I don't know. No, I haven't looked at the news. I've been busy. There's a lot of things that could have happened. All right. That's it. So just into trading. And you're on the live stream right now in TradingView live stream, and you want to see anything in the futures, you just have to type in this symbol. Okay. We're setting up a trade here on the ES and here on the Russell right now. So we'll get those together right now. We've got a low on this bar right here, 53.75. So you could buy in 55.75 on that. And the Russell's already got a bounce off the ribbon right here. It didn't give you a green arrow because we didn't come out of the oversold. So if you want to wait for that green arrow, I think the trigger in right here. I'll probably get the green arrow coming up right here. Okay. And the ES, well, the ES is just coming up here, kind of off the ribbon right there. It didn't actually hit the ribbon. No, the ES didn't actually hit the ribbon. The Russell is about to, it's going to look the Russell to hit the ribbon here. So you're going to want to take that trade, I think. The ES, probably not. The NQ is just going into a no trade zone. That's what this this blue area here in the background. Okay, well, here we get in now on the Russell. We need the up close here, right? And on the ES, we're now off the ribbon on the ES as well. Okay. All right. So we're getting both trades. It looks like 52.75 up to 54.75 on the ES is what it's possibly going to be. And I'm not sure we're going to get a trade here on the Russell. It doesn't look like it. We're not really getting one here on the ES either. All the indices are starting to turn down. It's a possibility here on the Russell. The black is not in the red yet. If the black gets into the red, then it's going to disqualify all long trades. The black line right here, the red background. That happens, it disqualifies all long trades. It just happened on that one, and it's about to happen on this one. It just happened on that one. So now we'll start looking for shorts. It's funny. Just a minute can change the way everything looks. All right, so on the NQ right now, get ready for this. There it is, green arrow short. And I hit the sell button, but it didn't go. I didn't get my order put in place. No order on in there. I wish I had. But the down close right there is what I was talking about. Now it's got to put in a lower swing. Since you got the green arrow, it's got to put in a lower swing before you have another trade in that direction. Right? You just have to wait. You can't take that green arrow. And this was a green arrow in a black. See, the black line was in the red. So that was your highest probability right there. And it gave probably 10, 15 ticks, right? Entry should have been 69.5 and it ran down to 64. So it gave 15 ticks. 17 ticks. I missed it though. All right. Does anybody want to look at anything else? Want to look at any other markets? Well, we go look at something here. Yesterday, I think we traded all. Did we do anything yesterday? Yeah, we did. We did it yesterday. Let's look at the SPY. That's what I was thinking. SPY on a daily. Okay, so on the daily right now, it's looking like it needs to get down here to 420. So far today, you had the green arrow. Well, you had the green arrow last week. You've had these green arrows suggesting it was going to go down, and it did go down some, 32 down to 27, so not a whole bunch, but a little bit. It's looking like it's trying to get down here to put in a lower swing. That's what I would think in there. But if you look at it on something else, like a 30-minute, see, even on a 30-minute, everything's looking pretty bearish in here. Let me spread that out because it's better. Okay. On the 30-minute in here, we had this change right back here. It's come up, it's hit the ribbon. It should sell off of the ribbon right here. Okay, it already did one time. It sold off all the way down here, put in a lower swing, and now it's retraced the whole thing. That's what the SPY is looking like. If anybody out there that's watching in the live, if you have any symbols you want to look at, all you have to do is type in the symbol. Okay, you have to show it to you. You see the NQ is starting to get bullish, the ES is bullish, the Russell is bullish, and the crude oil is not giving us anything. Okay. So Don, that whole shorting idea that you had earlier, I don't know if that worked out for you. I don't know if that was, well, you know, I always trade what's in front of me, and you were going to have to wait a while to be able to short that. You had no real reason to short it. And when it got there, you would have to take a better look at it. This is the NQ black arrow right here. I'm probably going to give a green arrow right now. No, actually, if you get it up close right now, it's not going to give any arrow. Now it'll probably give a green arrow. Maybe, maybe not. The black and the red right there are really close. Maybe, maybe not. Nothing. No trade in there. Okay. The ES is pulling back down to test the ribbon right here. That may have a trade. It should have gone up to the weekly trading zone. It didn't quite make it to the zone. So I'm thinking the NQ might be a little bit of a head fake right here. We'll see. The ES is at 56 half, so I'd be buying 58 half on that. 56 half up to 58 half is what you'd be looking at. Still looking pretty good there. There it is on the ES. All right. Here's on the ES. I got to take a slip. The Russell's got a long trade in here as well. The Russell should go right up into the weekly trading zone. Okay, the ES throwing stop break even. On the ES, it should go up above 60.75 all the way up to 62. All right, it just took me out of break even, but it should go up to 62. And you see the weekly trading zone is right up here too. So it should make it up to the zone. The Russell, if you got the entry over here, the Russell went about 10 ticks in profit. So you should have locked in a little bit of profit on that. Okay, the NQ still, it gave us short trade right here. Didn't give any follow through. That's what I was talking about, the head fake on the NQ. So yeah, done. Let's go look at this one more time. So it did go down and hit this number, and there were a lot of buyers down there. That's what I was pointing at earlier. It was a long time ago where we had the buyers there. Remember what I showed you earlier? It was a while ago where we had the buyers there, but they were significant buyers, and it was a woo spot that I had to fill on the way back up. Remember, trying to scroll back to it for you. Here it was. Way back here, October 9th. So 10 days ago. And it was a big, big buying spree went from there. Now, there may have been some other reason for that to happen at that time, but still. This, when it got, I was saying this morning, when the ribbon got in between the MA1 and the BBC, I mean, in the next step line here, we were just asking for some chop, indecision. Man, it shot up like a rocket and came right back down just as fast. So now it's going back up to where it was previously, probably up here. See the zone is there, and there's some selling pressure right up here too. Oops. And now that disconnected me, and that disconnected me. All right, so we're getting connected back up, and Okay, I want to look at the NQ on a little bit bigger picture here. Okay, it said it disconnected on both of them for me, but I'm glad it's still going. Good. That's good news. Right, I will not hit refresh over there. Yeah, if you're watching a live stream and you are not following us and you want to be notified when we do streams like this, you got to start, just start to follow us. Hit the like button, follow button, boost button, whatever button it is. Hit that button. Okay. There was a trade right in here on the NQ. I was way too late to get into it. Didn't put in a higher swing. It did go into profit. Didn't put in a higher swing. So you have nothing there now. The ES should put in a higher swing, and it didn't put in a higher swing. We took a break even on that one. It's starting to turn down a little bit. You can see the crude oil here is starting to go sideways too. So. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So we have to wait. We really don't have anything. Nobody's typing in any symbols or anything like that. So I can go back here and look at some other things. We can look at Tesla. Tesla got killed in their earnings, right? Let's see what that looks like. Big gap down. Big gap down on Tesla. There. For anybody that owns a lot of Tesla. It's really a buying opportunity because Tesla's not going to stay down. For those of you guys who are, I don't know if Dwayne talked about it at all, but Tesla's one of those stocks that's going to stay down. But you have a huge gap here to fill too, so it's probably going to fill that gap in the next week or so. So I would say Tesla's in the next week or so. I would say you'd probably see a $20 gain on Tesla. Don't quote me on that. I guess you can quote me on that if you want to. I would say by the next week or so, we'll probably see it back up here to 242, probably in that range. Now with futures, those gaps get filled right away. Like within an hour or so usually. Stocks, it can take days or even a week or so, even months sometimes. There's another NQ short right here. Now the black line again is not in the red, so it's not the probability short, but it's enough to get your stop to break even and take some profit. It needs to put in a lower swing right here, which it hasn't done yet. Okay, it needs to put in a lower swing. See, again, you have a green arrow, but the black is not in the right color. You can't take that one anyway because this one didn't put in a lower swing. If you go here to the trade rules, go to mytradingiq.com and trade rules. All the rules are right here. Step 1, right there. All trades must come after a higher or lower swing. Okay. I'm gonna actually put step 1, step 2 on those two things right there because you got to have that for everything. And then these other ones kick in depending what platform you're on. Right? The risk management is always the same. Except Joe, I don't know if Joe's in here. Joe had sent me a text message because there is an issue right now. Not the wrong Joe is in here. But there is an issue right now with the GT Pro and the range charts. And he's using minute charts instead of range charts. So let me just show you. Yeah. Yep. It's only in demo though. And the live charts are working fine. I have them. I'm right here on my live account, wherever that came up. Here it is. Yeah, so this is a 15 range live chart. So I think they got it on they kind of put it on the back burner because it's demo. And I think they're focusing their energies elsewhere for the most part. But let me just show you what to do with a minute chart. Okay, for those of you guys that are trading minute charts on DT instead of using the range charts. Okay, I'll just do it here with the ES. So if you're using a 1 minute chart, Now you're still gonna get the kind of indications, the green arrows and all that stuff. Everything is still the same as far as all that's concerned. Everything is still the same, but your stop is going to have to be either the bar that got you into the trade or the bar, the swing right before. So like in this case right here, you'd go short right here and your stop would have to be up above the bar that got you into the trade. Or in this case right here, you go long on an up close and your stop would have to be right down below this bar right here. Okay. So that kind of thing is the same, except your risk management is going to be different. When you have range bars, you have predetermined risk because you know exactly how big every bar is going to be. But with a minute bar, the bar can be this small or it can be this big. So your risk is based upon the actual price action. It's not based upon a bar size. So you get in here where the price action is kind of sideways. You're going to have to put your risk above the prior swing high. So you'd have to look left and find out where the prior swing high is, put your risk above there, like this. So that would have kept you in the trade all the way through this trading right on top of the weekly trading zone. It's not a good idea, but that's how you would do it with a minute chart. Okay. Your risk, well, your reward is actually the same as it is with a range bar because a pivot is a pivot. But where the swing high is a swing high, no matter whether it's a minute chart or range chart, volume chart, any kind of chart. The swing high is going to be the swing high. So your target's going to be the same. It's just your risk is going to be bigger using these. Most of the time, your risk is going to be bigger. Okay, that's the difference. And I choose range charts just because you know exactly what your risk is going to be for every trade before you get into the trade. With the trade on ahead of time, you can be proactive. There's so many good reasons to use the range charts. Okay, if the range charts are working. You can see in here, with TradingView, the range charts are just fine. Everything's working fine with the range charts here. And NinjaTrader, I believe everything's working fine there too. Let me just go see. This is a NinjaTrader. This is actually a volume chart. If I put it on a range chart, see, it says it's loading. I don't know, but the TradingView charts are working just fine. So that's a good thing. All right. I don't see any in from anybody anywhere. 118 have both left in this section. I want to remind everybody that we have here's the NinjaTrader chart with the 5 range. So the range charts are working on Ninja. So it's a DT room. See, everything is working fine here with TradingView. All right, let's look at what else coupled today. Look at the changes in here. So Netflix, huge gain in Netflix. And Tesla's the biggest loser today. Tesla's down 8%, and that's where it is right now. It was down more than 8% at one point. Right, it's going to recover that, guys. It's going to recover that. Right, and at the other end of the spectrum, you have down here Netflix. So let's look at the Netflix chart. NFLX. Look at the gap up on Netflix. Right, that gap will get filled too. I don't know when, but that gap will get filled at some point. That's a huge gap up on Netflix. We have an NQ trade triggered right in here. Just that we don't have anything over here on crude yet. We don't have anything here on the NQ or on the Russell or the ES either. But we did have a trade trigger right here on the NQ. Now it's gone enough to get your stop to break even in there. Down here was enough to get your stop to break even. The rule is to move your stop to break even after 8 ticks in profit. Okay. With the NQ. So yesterday, no, a few days ago on the 16th, we had sell signals in here on the Netflix, and then just news came out. I guess I'm guessing that's what that was, news, and you see it bumped it quite a bit, 50 points. That's a huge run up. Yeah, 57 right there. But the gap from this down here at 346, it gapped all the way up to the open up here at 405. So it was a 50-point gap. It's pretty good stuff. 60-point gap. And just waiting here with everything. We really don't have anything else right now. Everything's in a no trade zone. So if anybody got any questions or any symbols you want to see, all you have to do is type them in. You have 9 minutes left in here. Again, this morning we were up 347.5 on the morning session. If you read the spreadsheet, if you're new in here looking at this in hindsight, the spreadsheet is our daily results going back over 10 years, right? It goes back to January 2nd of 2013. In the morning session is when we fill it out, and we stop filling it out at the end of the morning session. So at 11:30, this is where we stood, starting out at 9:15 and ending at 11:30. Right. To get into that, if you want to get room in the morning, you have to sign up for the trial right here. Go to TradingIQ.com and right here sign up for the free trial from 9:15 to 11:30 every business day. Okay. The trial really is free. This is what the registration form looks like. No place in here. Doesn't ask for any credit card. Right. That's what the registration form looks like. All right. That's it. Something's happening here with the NQ. All the indices just dropped pretty quick. So let's bump this to the side for market view. And we'll see if we can get a trade off in here. It's 123, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get one going or not. So far we've only had the one break-even trade. This is not going to be a trade right here. All right, we need to get up into the overbought or get into the ribbon, one or the other. Right, one of those things has to happen. Okay. And we got into the overbought right there. That's how we got the black arrow, get into the overbought. So now, did we change directions on this? We didn't. So we could have taken the black arrow there if we wanted to. Now, if we get an up close on this bar, it's going to bring us up and get us into the overbought again. It didn't. But if we did get an up close, it would do it. So that's what we'll be looking for. Another chance to take a trade in there. Okay. Where should the NQ go down to? Well, you see, we hit the midpoint right here. We went through it, came back, bounced off it again. I'd like to see it bounce back up to the midpoint. We're in the overbought again right there. You can take the trade right here. It's got a lot of momentum. Up and bounce off the ribbon right here. Okay. It hasn't quite gotten there yet. There it is. Now it's at the ribbon. So now look for the down close here on this. All right, 74 down to 70 right there. What in the heck? Okay, 74 down to 70 right in there. All right, here, I just shorted it right here. And the stop goes to break even after 8 ticks in profit. And I'm out with 8 ticks in profit. Sorry, I shorted it from up here when it pulled back a little bit. Right, I can't take that trade now until it gives us a lower swing. Over here on the ES though, we're in the overbought. We could have a trade coming there if we are in the right direction. We are in the right direction. So the ES can have a trade, the Russell trade. The indices are giving trades right now on the short side. Right. So here's the Russell one. I'm gonna bump my stop to break even on that. Here's the ES one. I'm gonna bump my stop to break even on that. I didn't get the follow-up one on the Russell, but I'm gonna start locking in profit here on that. Plus 8 on that, and on the Russell we're gonna go plus 10 and plus 11, 12 on that. Plus 12 on the ES, and we got 12 on the Russell out of that quick movement right there. Okay, and I didn't get into this Q over here, but I'm going to try to get in it here if we get another chance. It's got to get into the overbought here. It's got to get into the overbought. I guess I did get into that, didn't I? Got to break even on that. Okay, so there's the black arrow. Waiting for the green one. It should come up right here, I think. It's not a green arrow. It's almost. It's got to come out of the overbought now. Now it's got to come out of the overbought. Okay, now it's not going to be a trade. All right, so 12 there and 12 there. Break even there and nothing here. Wow, that was pretty active. Nobody's got any questions about any of this? Nobody? Did anybody get those trades with me? we're setting up another one on both these markets right now. A down close on either one of these, if it pulls it out of the overbought, would be a trade. Actually, a down close on the ES, even if it doesn't pull it out of the overbought, would still be a trade. So 50.50 down to 48.50 on the ES is what you're looking at. And over here on the Russell, is going to have to pull it out of the overbought to give us a trade. There it is. It did. So that's a trade there on the Russell. Here's the Russell, and here's the ES. All right. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. That was going to break even on the Russell, going to break even on the ES too, because it just took me out of break even on the ES. It did have 4 tick the profit from my entry point. The Russell we're in right now, the Russell should go down here to 37.0 is where that should go down to. I'll put that there. It gets there, that's 13 ticks. Okay. It should actually go through that. It should go all the way down here to 35.8, but that's what the DOM's giving us right now. Just going to lock in a little bit on this one. We've got to break even on that. And so we'll see what happens here with this Russell. It should go down and continue the trend. It should get down below this level and continue the trend. Okay, so that took me out for just a little bit of profit. All right, so these markets are bouncing around pretty quick. I don't know. You know, Powell was supposed to speak at noon. I don't know why they're jumping around right now, but it doesn't really matter. All we need is volatility, and you can see once you get the volatility, it's not hard to take the signals. Just tells you again and again and again, place the trade. What you have to do is follow the direction and put the trade. I mean, during this session, how many days do we have? You know, the number of contracts that matters. You did with just one contract, you'd be up really well during this session. But with multiple contracts like I have, then it's there for you every day. It's not as easy as this, though. I mean, it started out this morning. It wasn't easy at the start this morning. It took me 50-something minutes, right, to get the day. I stopped out 3 or 4 times in the morning trying to get my goal for the day. But yesterday was pretty easy. And today, you can see what we're doing here. So what we need to do now is put in a lower swing here, put in a lower swing here, and we just did put in a lower swing here, but we need to have a green arrow over here. We need to pull back and test the ribbon, okay, on the NQ because we changed directions. Here it is right there on the NQ. Here it is right here on the NQ. And stop to break even on the NQ. And we'll see where that goes. Break even on the NQ. Okay. Highest probability trade right there. Went enough to get the stop to break even. All right. All right. Well, it's about time to wrap it up. So let me just go here and we'll say, if you have not taken a free trial with us, if you're watching this after the fact and in the live stream, you want to take a free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com, sign up here for the free trial, all right? It runs 9:15 to 11:30 Eastern time every business day. 9:15 to 11:30 Eastern time every business day. If you click on that, sign up for your trial, be sent to this page, all right? Just fill this out. There's no credit card required. Just fill it out. Give us your TradingView user ID right here. Username, login ID, whatever it is. On TradingView, it's what you have over here. When you hover over this, it's what comes up right in here. Just hover over this. I mean, logged in as CFRN. That's me. Whatever comes up there when you log in, right? That's what you need to put in this little box. And then we get your indicators indicating, and you get all the access you need to get into the room in the morning with us. All right. All right, that is it. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for coming and watching today. Hopefully you all made some money. You're a little new to this channel. What's the difference between black and green arrows? Okay, when you're coming in right at the end of the session here, we do this from 1 to 1:30 every day. The green arrows mean they came off the ribbon, right? They bounced off the ribbon. And the black arrows means it didn't hit the ribbon. All right, if you go here, well, first I'll say go here and sign up for the free trial. All right, go to mytradingiq.com, sign up for the trial right there. If you go here to the trade rules page, in here, it has the rules for the trade setups, long trade with the slingshot and without the slingshot. The arrow colors are right here. All right. Without the slingshot, you're not going to get any arrow. With the slingshot, you are going to get the arrows. The green arrow will only appear when price is bouncing off the ribbon. Otherwise, the arrow will be black. And so what that means is right in here, when it comes out of the overbought, the oversold, depending on what direction you're going in, if it doesn't hit the ribbon, it'll be a black arrow. If it does hit the ribbon, it'll be a green arrow, right? It's like right here, we had a sell right there. It came out of the overbought. Green arrow as it came off the ribbon of these lines in the middle. Over here, we had the same thing. Okay. That's it. But take the free trial, right? Take the free trial. And when you get into the free trial, you get access to all the indicators and everything else. And it's easy to set it up, right? If you take the free trial and you go here to the My Trading IQ, you go here to trade rules. Once we give you access to your indicators, maybe you give us your username. I can see what your username is right here. But if you want to sign up for the free trial, I'll enable the indicators with that username. We can do it right now if you want. If you just type in there that you want the free, you're going to do the free trial, then I can go enable the indicators for you right now. But you gotta fill out the form for the free trial. But then once you do that, if you click on this link right here, you see the URL on that 6JU6NAIR. That is this right here. This is the charts that I'm doing right now. All right, I hit save on this. Everything that I've drawn in here since I started this session right now, you'll have access to. It'll be right there on here. You'll have a read-only copy. When you click that link, it'll be a read-only copy. And depending what level of TradingView you have, you may get prompted to upgrade to a different level. But if you have Pro Plus or higher, you get all 4 charts. If you just have Pro, on the trade rules page, click this link right here. That's for 2 charts. Okay, that will give you 2 charts. If you have Pro Plus or higher, click on this one right here. Okay. That's it. All right. So I am going to wrap up the live stream now. Get my charts back up here. All right. You see how everything's just bouncing around here. There's just so much opportunity right now. Sign up for the free trial. Get in the room in the morning too. Remember, okay, get in the room in the morning and you get to watch us do this all morning. It starts at 9:15, and honestly, 9:15 to 9:30, there's not usually much going on. If I get a trade in there, it's usually a stop out. The spreadsheet is our results, and you can see when I started doing the 9:15 thing was right here. This day, I started doing the 9:15 thing, so I have this extra 15 minutes added on to every day where I get my goal for the day. But it's a slow period in there where I can just go through stuff while the market is live. First thing in the morning, okay? Before the markets actually get jumping at 9:30. All right. Again, to take the free trial, go here to mytradingiq.com and do it right here. Click on that. All right, that's it. With that, I'm going to pass it out to Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. If you are ready.
Yep. Recap of the recap of the morning session.
Today, it took 56 minutes and 15 trades to get to $1,150.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we left off with the Dow. Already covered the ES. We'll take another peek at it. Yep. So we ran back to that zone again. Now we're pulling back to the BVC. When we pull from above, we expect it to be good support. When we pull up to the BBC from below, we expect it to be good resistance until proven otherwise. Resistance, 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 resistance. But once we get on the other side of the BBC, above it and pull back, then it becomes support, 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 until proven otherwise. When we hit the zone, when we drop to a zone, we expect support. The zone is 4329/4330. And the low was 4330. Missed it by 3 ticks. Okay. 70% of the time, consolidation, 20% of the time rejection, 10% of the time a slice. So we're printing a red candle, and that's taking us back below the BBC. When we're above the BBC, we anticipate higher prices. When we're below the BBC, we anticipate lower prices. So yesterday, once we got below this zone, this was at about 5:30 a.m. Eastern yesterday. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. Over and over again and again. So now we're below the BBC. We expect there to be potential support at the zone. If price manages to break through the zone, then your next support area is right here at this low, 43.15. Then the zone, 43.04/43.05. And these are the zones that were issued Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published for the week, Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. So the Dow opened just below this zone, below the BBC, accompanied by red and falling, so it took us in short order right to the short target. When the market finds support, it will go look for resistance. Remember, when price pulls up to the BBC, expect it to be resistance until proven otherwise. Managed to get above it, so then we pull back and it becomes support. There's a little move, enough to get your goal for the day. Then we're back below the BBC and we find support at the zone. Then we make a run all the way to this zone and then back to this zone. And where are we right now? Roughly exactly where we were when we opened last night. On the Russell, here's where we opened, below the BBC, and we dropped in short order down to the short target and the weekly zone at 1732/33. Market finds support, it'll go look for resistance. If it finds resistance, it will look for support, resistance, to support, to resistance, to support, over and over, again and again. Nice window of opportunity opening here on the Russell from 1728 down to 1726. Let's go for the day. And if we take out this low, then you got 1723 all the way down to the zone at 1719/1720. On the NQ, here's where we opened last night. Looks like we had a gap lower open. We're in earnings season, so that happens. Consolidated along the zone. Remember, 70% of the time, price will consolidate at the zone. We did hit the short target numerous times. Then we got red and falling turned to blue and climbing, and that put us back above the BBC. So we get a leg and a retracement to the BBC. Pull back holes more often than not. Then we get another leg. And the resistance was predefined yesterday afternoon. We come back to the zone where we find support. We spike it enough to reach that short target. One more time. We hit it once, we hit it twice, we hit it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and now we're about to hit it for the 6th time. The zone, back to the zone. And if we take out this low, once we trade through the short target, there's a window of opportunity right here. then this area right here. This zone is 14,890/91. And on the ES, we didn't make it quite to the bottom of the window. We talked about that yesterday. Once we enter the window, probably on a window this big, this is a 40-point window, got back above the top of the window, came down through it again, and if the market continues to drop, well, we know what to expect. Okay, so that covers all the indices. Crude oil. Here's where we opened last night. Blue and climbing, turned to red and falling. Once we got below the BVC, then it was a short trip right down to the target. When the market finds support, it'll go look for resistance. Price pulls up to the BVC. We expect it to be resistance until proven otherwise. And we traded back to the target, traded through the target. But why in the world would price stop right there and reverse? Look left. Bullish cross. Whenever you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, first time price revisits that area, will almost always be good support. We talked about that earlier on the daily chart. This bullish cross lines right up with the measured move of this big old head and shoulders pattern. You don't hear us talk about these patterns very often. We're not pattern recognition people. But this one's just so big and so obvious, it would be wrong not to point it out. But we still have a lot of work to do to get to either of these points. But when we get there, like we did here, slow, bullish cross. I would say that's pretty good support. So now the market's looking for resistance. Just about to hit the long target. Anticipate resistance at 88.55. If we get above that, then we could run all the way to 89.15. which would put us less than $1 away from that $100 a barrel they keep telling us we're going to get. And it may end up being a lot more than 100. It could be 140. But I don't have crystal balls, so we'll have to wait and see. But we hit the short target, we hit it again, and then we just shy of hitting the long target. So just lots of room for you to get your goal for the day. Gold. Here's where we opened. We never really pulled away from the BBC until this point. Okay. A leg and a retracement. Support times 2. We expect the zone to be support. We expect the BBC to be support. Give us another leg and a retracement. Remember, price always reverts to the mean. We had this big leg up yesterday. What did we do? We reverted to the mean. And on this move, we not only hit the target, but we hit the zone and got rejected almost to the tick. The high was 84.7, so 3 ticks, $30 per contract from actually touching the zone. And again, 70% of the times consolidation. Support. Resistance. Spiked it. Pull back. These are the zones that were given to our members and trial members. Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And here it is, a Thursday. They're still doing their job. Silver, we opened price trapped between support, blue and climbing, and resistance, the BBC. So price ping-ponged back and forth. Now you only need a 2-penny move in silver to get your goal for the day. This one candle right here opened at 23.10 and ran all the way to 23.17 and a half. So 7 pennies, $350 per contract traded. I had a half a penny drawdown. The high, 23.17. The close was actually 23.16 half. Then blue and climbing turns to red and falling. Price drops below the BBC. So now we know that price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. If it's above the BBC, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. If it's below the BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. This zone is 2277/78. The low is 79. Okay, we missed touching the zone by a penny there. Then we touched it on this candle. This low was 22.78 half. Guess we still didn't quite touch it. This low was 79, okay. And this low 78 and a half. Then we come up to the BBC. Back down to the zone and then bounce. We get above the BBC. Red and falling is just turning to blue and climbing. So wait for the next 30-minute candle to guide you. If it starts printing green, go to your range chart, grab your 2 pennies, and you're done for the day. On the euro, show the market open, pulled up to the BBC, and we dropped right to the weekly trading zone. Then red and falling turned to blue and climbing. Now price sliced through this zone on the 30-minute chart like it wasn't even there. But when it ran out of steam, what did it do? It retraced to the zone it sliced through. It continued in the direction of the slice, hitting the long target. And then we had this wild spike here. That would have been when Powell started talking. And then we pull all the way back to the BBC and the zone. And we right back to the zone. And now we're sitting right above the zone, 50/55. So where we close today will be very important. If we close at the bottom of the window, we almost got there, but not quite. Close at the bottom of the window, then we have potential support here at the 50% fib. And we have potential support at these lows here. Keep that in mind. Again, to become a lifetime member, with access to everything we do, everything we've ever done, and whatever we do in the future, with no recurring fees, no upsells, and no nonsense. Just go to eminifuturestrading.com. Couple mouse clicks, lifetime membership. You'll never spend another dime with us on any trading stuff. Whatever we do, You're already a part of the family. Emini Futures Trading.com. You can always call us at 949-42-EMINI or email us support@cfrn.net. Let's wrap it up with our good word for the day. Now, the last few days we've been talking about wisdom, something that we should pray for. And God asked Solomon, what do you want? I'll give you anything you want. He didn't ask for money. He didn't ask to live forever. He asked for wisdom. And God gave it to him, along with a lot of other stuff. Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. That's all you need to know. If Job had a weakness, it was his tongue. He talked excessively. Not that you could blame him. After being hit by calamity, there wasn't a wall standing in his house or a loved one living. And his wife, empathetic soul that she was, told him to curse God and die. That's in Job 2:9. Then his four friends, I'm doing air quotes around friends, with the bedside manner of drill sergeants, told him he had probably brought all this trouble on himself. We're 37 chapters into the book of Job before God speaks a word. Chapter 38 begins. Then the Lord answered Job. And after God got through speaking, Job said, behold, I am insignificant. What can I say in response to you? I put my hand on my mouth. Notice, before he heard from God, Job couldn't talk enough. But after he heard from God, he couldn't talk at all. The only thing Job got right is in Job 13:15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Sometimes the best way to handle your problem is to trust and not talk, to submit and not speak. Job didn't know it at the time, but God's plan was to give him twice as much in the end as he had lost. And it happened when he stopped focusing on his own problems and started praying for his friends. That's Job 42:10. So, be still. Be open and willing. God is still on the throne. He's in control of every detail of your life. Even in the worst of circumstances, He has your best interest at heart. Psalm 138, the Lord will perfect that which concerns me. And that's all you need to know. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.